Women aren't born warriors, we become them. And the road to becoming a warrior is bumpy as hell. Each week, I'm interviewing women who, through tragedy and triumph, are leaping for greatness. Get ready to unleash your inner warrior. I'm Liz Svatek, and this is Conversations with Warrior Women. Today on the show, Paulinda Schimmel Babbini. Paulinda settled into Los Angeles in 1975, relocating from Valley Stream, New York. She was soon a busy wife, mother of a son and a daughter, and a businesswoman who owned a successful digital imaging company for over 40 years. Her life turned upside down in 2004 when her 17-year-old daughter, Robin, was diagnosed with stage 3 ovarian cancer. Robin vigorously fought the battle, but lost her dynamic life just 2.5 years after her diagnosis. She died at the young age of 20. To honor Robin's memory and shine a light on her legacy, Paulinda founded the nonprofit, the Ovarian Cancer Circle, inspired by Robin Babbini. It is her passionate, tireless commitment to heighten awareness of the signs and symptoms of this stealth cancer, particularly amongst young women. She devotes her days working at a community outreach throughout Southern California, attending health fairs, seminars, and women's conferences, as well as lobbying in Washington, D.C. Fundraising is the key to research and clinical trials that will lead to ovarian cancer being conquered. The Circle has to date raised $950,000. Wow, Paulinda. Welcome to the show. Paulinda.
Thank you. Hi. Thank you for having me.
Holy moly, $950,000. You could just teach someone a class on how to raise money. There's your gift right there.
Right. Well, it's a lot of work, but I make it happen. I make it happen.
I can imagine. Thank you for coming on the show. I want to raise awareness. Let's start though with your amazing daughter, Robin. Can you tell us about her and about her before the diagnosis and also how you found out?
So Robin was very active. She was very charismatic. She was very involved with her high school. She was student body president. She was homecoming queen. She was just one of those kind of kids that did it all and loved every second of it. And around 16, she started feeling, she started having symptoms like nausea. She would be nauseous. She would have back pain. She would get indigestion when she ate. We had no idea that that was any symptoms of ovarian cancer. She continued to go to school. She was not bedridden, so we didn't take it seriously. But the symptoms did not go away, and she ended up in the emergency room. They didn't know what it was. They thought a cyst had burst. So they did a CAT scan, and then they realized, she had 4 large tumors. And with ovarian cancer, you don't know if it's benign or malignant until you operate. So, of course, we were hoping that it would be benign, but it wasn't. It was stage 3 ovarian cancer. So that was the start of a very tough time. She had to have chemo. Of course, she lost her hair. At the beginning, that was her biggest worry, or like the thing that bothered her the most. But of course, that became very insignificant when the disease progressed. Ovarian cancer has an 80% chance of recurring. And when we left at the 6th chemo, when she was done, thinking we were going to be okay, that's when they told me that. I just thought, oh my God, please let us be on the side that doesn't recur. But it had come back. 6 months later, she started having symptoms again, and it recurred. She needed another surgery. It had metastasized, which meant it had spread into her intestines. And they told her she was chronic, that she would always be under some sort of treatment. And that's how she lived the next year of her life, trying to go to school. She got accepted to UCSB. She joined a sorority, Kappa Kappa Gamma. She tried to do you know that sorority?
I do. I was a Theta, so I guess I was her rival. So now I feel really bad, but I'm happy that she even got to do anything like that. That makes
Where did you go to school?
I went to Rollins in Florida.
Oh, okay. Yeah, she had enough strength to start her freshman year, and she was determined to live as a regular kid. So she did. And she got as far as her second first semester in her sophomore year. And then it was just, she was just not in great shape. She was always not feeling well, and she had to come home. So it was very difficult. So, yeah.
I mean, first of all, just the thought of being 17, 16 and 17 and taking this on and having this is just it's so heartbreaking to me. And obviously losing a child is every mother's worst nightmare. This is, losing a child is the ultimate. I just, just even knowing you're walking around, Paulinda.
Right. It is the worst thing.
It's just, it's really.
Yeah, it is the worst thing that could happen. I had my children very late. So I was so grateful that I was able to have them. Yes. And then and I have a daughter, which is so special. And then whoever would think something like this would happen. No. It was just
Unbelievable. How did you handle that? I mean, what did you do before you came up with this amazing idea?
It was all, let me just say that Robin was always my inspiration and my strength. She took this on with such strength, and I would always be crying and she would go, "Mom, stop crying." She built me up. Yeah, she would always pull me up. And when we knew that she wasn't going to make it, she was pretty, which is like not confident, but she understood. And I also have a son, and that helped a lot, because it was like I still had another child, and very important, and I was still going to be mom.
Yeah, and you had to go on for him too.
And what? I'm sorry.
You had to go on for him.
Yes, absolutely. Even when Robin was so sick, he was only in 10th grade. And I was very determined to keep him on track. Even when she was in the hospital, I would come back, make sure he had dinner, and I was set up for homework. And at the time I had a husband, so we kind of worked it together. So yeah, he was able to stay on track. But, you just go on, you have two choices. You crawl in a cave, right, or you make a difference. And I chose to go make a difference and shine a light on her life. And, she was that kind of a person where she had left such a big footprint in the community. She was very involved with the city of West Hollywood and, like I said, her school and UCSB. I still go there and I speak to the Kappas, and I give an award every year to an outstanding Kappa. So I'm educating these young women about ovarian cancer. I give out bookmarks. I had showed you the bookmark with the symptoms. And that's my comfort. That's where I get all my inspiration and my motivations from Robin. If she had lived, she would have done the same thing. So
absolutely. Yeah. Tell me about the Ovarian Cancer Circle inspired by Robin Babbini. What is your mission?
So my primary is two goals. Of course, educating, which is really critical because many people know nothing about ovarian cancer. You really don't pay attention to it unless it touches your life. And we didn't either. If I had known then what I know now, Robin would be here because I would have been on it in a second. But so educating is very critical to what I do. I'm passionate about it. I save women's lives. I noticed you were underlined Pap tests, Pap smears.
Yes.
Because women don't know that Pap smear has nothing to do with ovarian cancer. It's cervical cancer.
Yes.
Women come to me all the time and say, well, I've had my Pap, nothing to do with ovarian cancer. There is no early detection test for ovarian cancer, which is why women get diagnosed very late. I just want to interject that Chris Everett, I don't know if you read that. You did?
No, I know her.
She just got diagnosed with ovarian cancer.
Oh, really?
She has stage 1. The reason she was caught so early is because her sister died from ovarian cancer. And they carry the BRCA gene. Are you familiar with that?
Yes.
That's for ovarian and breast. So they have that in their family. Of course, they didn't know that. They didn't get genetic testing. So her sister didn't know, but Chris decided to get a preventive hysterectomy. And that's when they caught it.
Wow.
So they caught it at stage 1. So she'll be fine. And that's usually how some women get diagnosed. They go in for something else and they find it. So I emphasize genetic testing. I emphasize education. I talk about advocacy. if you feel any of the symptoms, which would you like me to say a couple of them?
Well, we're going to get into that in a minute, but I just want to know a little more about like what the mission of your, yeah.
Okay.
We
So
are going to get
that's
into that.
education is very one of my really serious goals.
Yes.
And fundraising, because we're very committed to research. Like I said, there's no early detection test, and needing better treatments, better therapies. So, and all of our money goes to a gynecologic oncologist at UCLA, Dr. Mamarzadeh. So that's the two prongs of the organization. Right.
Yes. Okay. So you mentioned it. Ovarian cancer is one of the deadliest gynecological cancers, has a 50% mortality rate and cannot be detected by a pap smear. I just want to say that again, because it is kind of like women kind of put these two things together, cervical cancer and ovarian. It's not the same. You cannot detect it with a pap smear.
Exactly.
Let's talk about the signs like you were talking about.
So some of the symptoms that, and as I did send you a bookmark, and I do give them out everywhere and anywhere. Like at any time I'm having a discussion with somebody, I whip out one of my bookmarks. So like it could be nauseousness, it could be bloating, it could be frequent urination, it could be constipation, symptomatic of other diseases, which is why it gets misdiagnosed a lot. And most women, when they have these symptoms, they think urinary tract infection or gastrointestinal. That's the direction they go. However, if you feel the symptoms, there's two things you should do. And one of them is go to a gynecologist and get a transvaginal ultrasound, which is a probe that they put up you, and they can see your uterus and your ovaries. And ovarian cancer starts in the fallopian tubes. It does not start in the ovaries. So they didn't know that back then. They should have called it fallopian tube cancer. And also a CA-125, which is a blood test. And that's another way for them to detect if there's something not right. Anything over 35 is suspicious. So those are, that's it. Those are the two things. But of course, I didn't know to ask for either of them back when Robin went to the gynecologist, and he didn't ask. And because of her young age. So I'm very adamant. When I talk about that, I tell women, be proactive. Don't wait, get those two things. Yeah. And if it's not that, you just take that off the list. Those are just two, that's one thing you can say, good, it's not that. So,
right. And did you have a history of ovarian cancer in your family or any type of cancer?
Nope.
All the more reason you wouldn't even think, right?
No BRCA. In fact, one time I was listening on the radio and they talked about CA-125, the blood test, I think I'll go get one of those. Prior to all this happening, I just was like, I heard it and I thought, you know what, why not? So no ovarian cancer. Our family doesn't have much cancer in it. That's not what people die from. But did you know anything about ovarian cancer before I brought it to your attention?
Nope.
Right. Most women don't. So that's
why I wanted to have you on, Paulinda, because I was like, I realize a lot of the women that are listening are like me, and they think one is the other, and they think a pap smear is going to do it, and that's just going to call it a day, but no, that's not what it is.
And I want to say also that ovarian cancer has an 80% chance of recurring. And so that's another thing women don't know. And that's why a lot of women lose their lives, because it comes back and over again. So,
Robin, got to catch it early.
Like anything. But I have to say, Robin suffered so much that when she was 8 months bedridden and she couldn't eat anymore and she couldn't go to the bathroom. So when you're in that kind of shape, where you're going? So as much, it used to kill me that I was healthy. And I said, why wasn't it me? Why couldn't I be the one? I mean, I had already lived a good portion of my life. She was a kid. So that was a big guilt on my head all the time. And when she started, we knew she was going to not make it. I thought, let's just get this over with. But that's not how they do it in California. And I have to say, when she did pass, well, two things I wanted to say is, if she had lived and suffered continually, that would have been a big drag on my life too, because when your child is not well, it affects the whole family.
Yes.
So it was a tragedy, but she only lasted 2.5 years after a diagnosis. And and now I made it her legacy. You know,
Yes.
people know about her, and her memory is lasting and goes on. And I, you know, I think, you know, maybe look at the website, some of the things have happened because of her, you know, what I'm
Yes,
doing.
let's talk about some of those things that have happened. First of all,
Yeah.
how in the world did you raise $950,000? That's amazing.
So I'm a big proponent of networking, and I ask if anybody's interested to speak at any kind of women's organizations, any schools, temples, anywhere where there's a group of people. And I have a wheel with 16 questions, and they're pretty, like, not very heavy technology questions. People are always like, learn so much from that. So I do a lot of seminars, I do a lot of speaking engagements, I do health fairs, I go to Washington, D.C. and advocate for more money. And people get interested and they support the cause. And that's what it takes. I think if you wanted to start a nonprofit, you've got to get out there and speak. And like how I met you, right?
Yes. Yeah. We met at the Broad Network event, and you gave me your card and you said, I want to come on your podcast. And I said, okay, great. I definitely will have you on. And then I lost your card. And then I had to hunt down anyone that I thought knew you so I could get you on. So thank God. So because I made that promise, and I don't often do that. Normally I say, oh, we'll see, you know, let me figure out if you're right. But with your story, I was like, you're coming. So
yeah, it's a very compelling story. People hear a young woman, they think old women get the disease. It's not but I have to say, since I've been in the ovarian cancer world, yes, young women do get it. So I knew this was my mission. You know, Robin said to me when she was sick, she said, Mom, there has to be a reason why this has happened. Robin was very wise and very an old soul. She had been around, you know, and even the way she handled it was very much stronger than me. So she deserves to be continued. Her legacy needs to be continued. She was a very special kind of person.
Absolutely.
So,
tell me the biggest lesson you think you've learned all of this. It could be in any kind of capacity.
Well, I've learned how much stronger I am than I thought. I really didn't know I had this much resilience, and I pulled myself up. And like I said before, I decided I had to make a difference. I was never one to be a president or out there speaking, but one of the things I do is I have and you're going to ask me about my mantra, but it is, I can do it. And I just, even if I'm nervous or I don't know, I don't have enough confidence, I just keep saying to myself, you can do it, you can do it. And I do it. And I just get out there and get through it. You know, the fundraisers are very intense, putting these fundraisers together. They take a lot of time. And I have a team. I think I might have mentioned that to you. There's 12 women on my team, devoted volunteers. And I have very strong, I have a mentor who I always go to and ask, what does she think, and her advice, and she gives very good judgment. I have a writer who writes beautifully anytime I need something written. I have a graphic artist who puts all my artwork together. I have a treasurer who helps me with the money. So I reach out to all the people, delegate. That's what I have to do. You delegate to your people who give you the strength, that where you don't know that you're not strong enough, that's where you can go. So thank God, I'm very grateful that I have a bunch of wonderful, wonderful women around me to lift me and support me. And that's also how raise funds, because they reach out to their network.
Yes.
And they, I just tell a little story. I was a photo retoucher back in that was my business. And one of my clients, she was a model and actress, ended up getting ovarian cancer. So she looked me up on Google, she looked up about ovarian cancer, and there I was, and she remembered Robin, because she used to come to my house when Robin was a little girl.
Oh my
and
God.
I know. So she joined the circle, and she happened to marry well. And she brought in all her group of friends. And when we did we did a virtual walk around last year, and just her group raised $12,000, just, her bunch of friends. And so that's another way too, by being out there in the community And people who are touched by ovarian cancer, they want to support it. And Dr. Mamarzadeh comes to all our events, and she speaks and she talks about her research, and that gives people the confidence or the interest and say, well, look, we'll support this, because it's not like you give money and you don't know where it's going.
Thing. Yes.
It's very specific and very transparent, and people like to see that when they donate. It's very, very important. Every year when I reach out to, I have certain charitable funds, people that donate every year. And we put a letter together about the current research to let them know we're making progress. So
I love it. Well, what do you think it's going to take to eradicate ovarian cancer? Like you're kind of on the front lines. You kind of see a bunch of things. You're going to Washington. You're raising money. What do you think it's really going to
I think it takes a more of a public profile, like people like a Chris Everett, like Christina Amanpour. You know who that is?
Oh, yes. Yeah.
She also she's in treatment or just finished her treatment. She's also, did you know she had ovarian cancer too?
No, I did not know that.
Yeah. Well, and now Obama's mom died from ovarian cancer. So what, and even a person like Angelina Jolie, her mother died from ovarian cancer. They carry the BRCA gene. So she had a total mastectomy and a hysterectomy as preventive. So you need a public person who gets the word out quite a bit and talks about. The thing with Chris is very, so many people contacted me when they heard about that. I put it on the Facebook page to let people know I'm aware of it, and we're, grateful, stage 1, and she'll be fine. So it takes a big public profile and a ton of money, for research. It's always money. Look at breast cancer.
No, it's true.
Remember back in the day, women died from it. It was a death sentence. Now, look how many women have survived that. Yep. So ovarian cancer needs the same public profile. Teal is the color. This is not television or anything.
No, but you can still say.
No, but I always wear my scarves. I sell scarves and earrings and bracelets and pendants, the color teal, because that's the national color of ovarian cancer. So I don't know. So anyway, so I always wear it all the time. It's a great color. So people will go, I love the color.
Looks great on you. So it's a double bonus.
Yes. Well, it will look good on you too. It looks good. It happens to be a very good color for a lot of people, but it does bring a conversation. And so I do wear it all the time. You remember when I met you, I had it on.
Yes,
I don't know if you remember that.
Yes.
So anytime I go out in public, I do wear it. And I usually do my nails teal also, but they're not teal now. So
but
taking a break.
Right. That's a good, you are one great marketer. I have to say, you're very good at this. So I'm really impressed.
Thank you. I walk around selling my stuff and selling my ovarian cancer awareness.
Yes.
So.
Yes. Well, you look, you wrote me in. I'm here. I'm ready to get involved. So I'm glad to be here. Okay. So we're on to the speed round. This is party time, fun time for you. Okay. You ready?
I hope so. Yes.
You don't have to be that ready. What does it mean to you to be a warrior woman?
So a warrior woman to me is someone that inspires, who motivates, who educates, who makes a difference. And that's what I do. That's what my mission is. And that's makes me a warrior woman. So
very true. And so your mantra or quote you live by, but you already kind of told
positivity, always being positive, looking to Robin. That was Robin's mantra. I learned that from her. She was always no negatives, always positive. Even when you write, you never write, don't forget, you always write, remember. And just a little thing like that. So positivity, keep everything positive. That's my mantra.
I love it. What makes you feel unstoppable?
Well, Robin, she gives me that strength and motivation. She's given me a purpose in life, because being retired, you need to find something to do. Who knew this was going to be it? But she is with me every single minute of every single day. And she gives me strength and motivation, and she does make me unstoppable. And my team, I have to say that the team that surrounds me, I'm very grateful for all that I have around me. So.
Absolutely. What are you most proud of?
I think of my accomplishments with the Ovarian Cancer Circle, inspired by Robin Babbini. I have taken myself to a level that I never knew I was capable of. And I'm impressed with myself.
I'm impressed for sure.
And I'm also very grateful for what has happened around me. And I bring people in who support what I do. And I'm truly very grateful for all that has happened, and my health, that I've stayed healthy and well and able to do this, so.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Tell me, what is exciting you the most right now?
My life revolves around so much about the circle and our direction. Dr. Marzadeh, she's right now getting a grant for improved therapies and better treatments to help women once they're diagnosed. I'm very excited about that. That will bring a lot of attention to the circle and hopefully raise more funds. So what did you, so you asked me to say the question that, so it makes me unstoppable, right?
No, it was something you were, that you're
excited about
the most right now. So you're excited about the kind of the new kind of
progress and the research, and that we will hopefully, before I'm gone, find a cure for ovarian cancer, or like something where a pap or a mammogram or a colonoscopy. Like that's what you get. You go to your doctor and you get your tests, and this is one test. That would be something that would make me beyond excited. It'd be like I don't have to do this anymore. They found a cure and women will survive. That makes me really excited. So
well, you are an incredible force. I have to say, I was really impressed when you walked right up to me and handed me your card, dressed in your teal scarf, and you told me about Robin. And I'm so glad you came on today, because I really didn't know how deadly ovarian cancer was. I didn't know the signs and symptoms. I thought a pap smear could cover it. So I'm really super glad that you came and told me that you wanted to come on, because you were right to want to come on. And I'm glad that I'm happy to spread this message and to, raise awareness.
I educated you, and we're going to educate all the people that reach your podcast about it. And they can reach out to me.
Absolutely.
At any time.
Yeah, I'm going to put all of your links, everything in the show notes. Anybody can get in touch with you, can come alongside you, help raise money. So I'm going to put all that in the show notes. But thank you so much for coming on the show today and telling us about your gorgeous, I'm looking at her picture right now, the most gorgeous girl you've ever seen. So thank you so much for telling us about her and all the work you're doing.
And thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to bring awareness and educate and talk about the circle. So absolutely. I'm glad that we met. There had to be a reason. Like Robin said.
Robin obviously did it all. Robin obviously brought you to me.
That's right. Robin said there's a reason that this has happened to me, and now we've met, and now you put me on your podcast, and I'm spreading the word. So thank you so much. I appreciate that.
Thank you. Okay. Thank you everyone for joining us today. Remember to subscribe on iTunes, Google Play, or Spotify. And if you enjoyed the show, please leave us a 5-star written review. This is the Conversations with Warrior Women podcast with me, Liz Svatek. Remember, every woman has a story. You just need to ask her. Bye.